You really do just jump right in. It really doesn't matter.
White devil.
Yeah.
Introduce our esteemed guest.
What you got? Give me some bars, Reem.
No, I really didn't write a poem.
I-
I was just talking shit.
I was about to do the drums in the back.
Hey, Whitey.
I told you I'm a sucker for a good beat.
Oh, shit.
The fucking snaps.
Oh, man.
All right, make
Are we live? Are we here?
Uh,
Are we ready to go? I think we're ready to go.
I think we're ready to go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sure?
How you feeling over there, bub?
Tired, man. You seen the news?
He's keeping up on the Celts.
Oh,
That news?
I like it.
Shots
I
fired.
like it. I like it. Let me take a sip of this.
Okay. All right.
Monster third quarter.
Damn, that's exhausting, huh? Keeping up with the Celtics is exhausting.
Damn, aren't you a Lakers fan though?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
That was a shot.
I know it was.
No.
you keep your enemies close, right?
Right.
You gotta watch your rivals.
Are you cause you from Boston?
No, so I'm from southeast Mass, Rainham, Mass. Small town, 40 minutes south of Boston, 40 minutes from here.
Yep.
Do you hate LeBron James? Because I know a lot of Mass people
So
hate LeBron James.
Hate is probably a good word.
Oh,
Good word. It's a good word.
He's not shy.
In
He's
the
not shy
same
at
way
all. I
with
like it.
like Peyton Manning, right? Rivalries for 15
You
years.
hate Peyton Manning?
They were in. Oh yeah, God yeah. They were in our way.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
They were in our way
It's my favorite- one
every
of my
single
favorite
year to a
quarterbacks.
championship, and
It's one of my favorite quarterbacks.
It's a good thing I'm in between. Somebody's got to ref this.
He was a good player.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of which, this is my man, aka the VP of Rainham. Is that what it is? Rainham.
Rainham, Mass.
Rainham.
Rainham.
We should introduce, right? This is.
No,
is-
well, let me,
oh, we just want to be casual.
Yeah,
as we
let's
move
rock.
around.
let me do what I do. You know what I mean?
Rock.
I don't know what you
Rock,
do
Alex.
anymore, Al. I mean,
You know, let me
We don't even know when we're live.
you don't set up.
But rock. You don't
You
set
don't
up.
set up.
Wow.
Well, whose fault is that? We record late now.
I
He
set
doesn't
up.
read.
Don't read.
Hey,
What is this? Did you go more Lupe?
More Lupe?
This is Lupe, isn't that?
Who?
Reem?
No way.
Reem could never. Reem could never.
I would never.
Because the show goes on. Let's go, baby. Why you hating?
I see you want to play top 40 today.
I think that this is definitely a white privilege song right now. Like this would never play if you weren't
We're
here.
still playing this at high school proms in Barrington.
Where did this come from? Is it Black Eyed Peas?
It's Lupe.
Damn, this is Black Eyed Peas.
This is one of Lupe's best hits.
That's Will I Am?
That's what we're doing, playing hits.
Nah, are we? I like the hate. Bring it. Keep going. Keep going. Don't disrespect God MC like that, dog.
Whoa.
Nas drops Ultra Black, and he played this song.
God MC? Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
Mike doesn't believe that.
I'm in open opposition.
You do?
No.
Don't believe what?
That
Lupe's
Lupe
the
Fiasco
God
is a
MC.
God MC.
This song slaps. This is a great song.
Fucking good song right here, dog.
This shit
This
slaps.
is alright.
He said slaps, by the way. This song slaps.
You say so, bro. I'm getting hot thinking about it. The show goes on all night. Does this song go on all night?
Nah. All right, you ain't ready?
Yo,
Nah,
let's
ain't
do
feeling
all
that?
three
All right,
verses.
all right, no. Hey, new Lupe. Nobody heard his new EP just dropped?
Why would we?
Come on, dog.
I'm gonna give this a
New
shot.
Lupe, baby.
I'm gonna give this a
Standing in
shot.
line since Thursday.
Come on, baby. Mike, you like a good beat, right?
Trapping them early.
Yeah.
Should have them just in time for your
Ain't
birthday.
nobody,
Irrelevant
like,
holiday.
double
affair.
entendres
Grab
throughout
one of
this
those
whole
three-leg
song.
folding chairs.
As
I
he
want
talks
you
about
prepared.
Ahmaud Arbery.
He's also the king of double
Even them
entendres.
brings
Can I
the
listen?
battery
He's
power
jealous.
lamps out. Warm clothes, but blanket case it get cold. Corn chips and basic staples to hold. Hunger over to Uber Eats is older. Maybe pizza,
One day,
quesadillas and
you got to give him
sopa.
respect.
Got a little cooler with assorted waters and sodas. Cinnamon, sugar coated, side of the odor. Makes me the envy of the line. It's not the enemy,
Reem said he
not my
wanted to
energy.
listen.
I'll be spending plenty of time.
Come on, guys.
It's out the books that I bought.
Love how he's
Adios,
jacking
regulars.
Kendrick's
Quite
whole
the party
style
going
right now.
and
Reem,
You know what's
are
funny?
better. Reem, you're better than Lupe.
Wow. Jack Alex.
On today's to-do
I
list
think
is
Bub's
to
trying
design
to. Bub's ready to pod today.
I like it. I like it.
Bub's ready to pod
He's been
today.
going in.
Reem's better than. He's better than
Yeah, he didn't Jack
You don't
Kendrick.
believe that.
He
No, I
didn't
believe
Jack
that.
Kendrick.
You know, He has a beef with Kendrick that I don't like. That I don't understand why he has the beef.
Who?
Lupe.
Okay.
He doesn't like. He thinks Kendrick is overrated.
Okay.
A lot of people say that about like Eminem. People say Eminem's overrated.
Okay.
That's not off.
Eminem is
No, that's
overrated.
People say that. I've heard it a lot.
Yeah, right. That's a god.
That's crazy.
He is skilled, very skilled.
That's
but
crazy.
People don't like his albums. That's why they say that he's overrated.
Yo, episode 107, man.
Oh yeah,
Episode 107.
Grown Pains Pod. What up, man?
Yo,
What's going on, fella? Yo, for real, I want to hear more than like just one word when I ask how y'all doing today.
All right.
Because
Very good.
I feel like that's an important
Doing
question to
great.
ask.
Aside from my butthole hurting, I'm all right.
Whoa.
I'm good.
What?
Hey,
Is this about that dick again?
Fine. So, like, what?
Hey.
What is going on?
I don't.
yo,
I don't
Welcome,
know what-
Mike.
Relax.
Whoa.
Relax. Guys,
Oh my
relax.
God.
Relax.
What was
What
for
the-
lunch?
There you go. See, that's a good question to ask.
Okay.
That's a good question.
hoping
to
there
ask.
was
no.
at least a-
There are several good
No.
questions right now. There's several good questions.
hope there was a bike seat involved or something like that. Wow.
Peloton?
No.
Peloton, please.
Nah, man. I woke up
Pound it on.
like Tuesday, and I take my normal shit, and when I went to go wipe, it was sore, and I think they finally got me. The aliens. I'm telling you, the aliens got me.
You think
They
you
got
got
me.
butt probed?
I think they got me.
I think it
which
was-
is fucked up because my sister was downstairs sleeping on the couch. So that means that they walked past her to get to me.
I don't think it was an alien. You got the wrong A. It was Ari. Ari slipped the dildo in your sleep, bro.
Wow, Alex, what?
I don't know what you
All
ate,
right.
but I don't want to eat more than that.
Aside from that, I'm great.
I don't even know if I want to ask the rest of y'all. What y'all doing, man? Like,
Breaking
y'all-
ice. I'm breaking ice.
Y'all okay?
It's broke.
Nah, ass is broke. By the ice.
What the?
Yeah, so my ass is fine.
Right.
Just to let you know, wipes have been going well. Shits have been going well as well.
That's good. That's good.
Yo, but I'm fucking tired, Cobb, if I'm being honest with you. I'm
Alright.
fucking tired.
Megatron keeping you up?
The work and the kid. The work and the kid. It's just like, my grass is like 17 inches too fucking long. I just don't, I looked at it today. I was like, you should go mow the grass. I was like, fuck that grass. I just want to lay down. And yeah, but I'm not gonna bitch about it. I'm pull up my bootstraps. But yeah, if you had to ask me right now, I'm fucking tired, bro. I need a massage, some soft hands, back rub.
Yeah, I'm
So if you're listening, how about you, Bub? Before we get to our esteemed guest of honor,
Since July 29th, this Providence has had 4 homicides. We had one recently as this morning at 3 a.m. Young man shot in the stomach, died. So, tired.
tired.
That's just the 4 homicides, but multiple shootings. What's today? Wednesday? Monday. Broad daylight, Prairie and Gallup corner store. 7 shots. Hit the wrong person 5 times.
God damn.
The shooter, he leaves, no mask, caught on camera. It was on the news. They played the whole video. Shots were loud. You could hear them from the doorstep of my office, and so not even a half a mile, but you could hear them like clear. 7 shots, and then 30 minutes later in the video, about 30 seconds after those shots. So the shooter shoots, runs, looks back. It's like looking back, like, okay, he's not going to shoot back. Oh, he's about to shoot back. Takes off, and then you hear the other shots. And the person that was the intended target ends up getting arrested with a pistol.
So, murder beef shoots the wrong person.
Right.
So, innocent bystander hit 5 times.
Lives? Uncle. Lives. He's alive right
Good.
now. Jeez. But there's just multiple shootings, fights, and all this stuff. So the city's been crazy.
You say good, but these gunshots ain't nothing to walk
No,
away from.
I mean, I'm just happy
It's a
that he's
long
alive.
road
And
ahead.
I'm talking
I
about
know.
these
He
were
might not be that happy yet.
these were like some. This wasn't no little pistol either.
That's Providence. And to be fair, like, we're not a fucking Chicago, right? Where when you say 4 homicides in Providence, that's a big number.
But per capita.
Especially, exactly. And you're talking just in the last, 20 days? Yeah, right? What's today, 21st?
20.
20th. So
No, 19th.
Has anyone else heard
20
that
days.
gun violence has been up since the defund the police movement, and they haven't been responding as fast as they normally or should be doing?
New York is a case for that, isn't it?
I heard I heard New York.
I haven't heard it here yet, but
Well, they not defunded yet.
Maybe they're upset because
they're upset. They're not happy with the whole defund the police. They're not happy.
I'm fine with that statement, but let's not attribute it to defunding because defunding hasn't happened yet, right? You know, like
They're
that's
just not
the
happy
upcoming budgets.
They're just not happy that people are.
Right. It's like, taking my ball and leaving when I lose.
Right.
It's like, I don't like what you're doing, so now suffer a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they defunded firefighters and shit like that.
Damn.
We know firefighters.
Oh yeah, we do.
Damn, Cove. All right.
Skino.
Oh, shit.
Not Skino.
On that sour note,
Not Skino. Skino's good.
how much do firefighters cost?
No, I don't know.
Tax money.
I'm joking. Yeah, tax money.
But like how much?
Enough.
I don't
That's
know.
how much? We don't even know.
I still hear a lot of lawsuits against
No, you don't. No,
firefighters,
you don't.
and
Well, one just got arrested,
I had nothing to do with a fire.
No, it didn't.
but he's a firefighter.
Yeah, I mean, well, you said you can still be a domestic violence abuser. You can go to jail for
Some
that.
drugs.
regardless of-
Some
yeah,
drugs.
see, yeah.
I don't want him coming to my house to put out a
Shit,
fire.
if his high ass is going to climb up that fucking ladder and pull me out of here,
No, he might
crank
fall
him
off
up.
the ladder,
Crank
climb
him
up and fall.
So with that said, can we ask
We've
our
touched about
esteemed
everything.
guest?
Podcast over. Mike, you can go.
done.
Mike, you can
Podcast
go.
107.
Done.
Tonight we have a guest, my man Michael Pence.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not that Mike Pence.
Yeah,
Not that Mike Pence.
TZ.
I'll let you distinguish the difference.
Besides the last name.
How did you how did that feel?
It was definitely different because he kind of came on. I think he was going to be in the presidential race, right? I think before Trump kind of took over.
Yeah.
So his name was out there in like 2014, 15. Indiana, I remember hearing that. And it's weird hearing it on TV. That's the biggest.
No one's ever run down on you like, you can't unteach gay.
No. My friend, I do have a picture, and it's one of my friend's dad. He was down in Boston. There was some type of rally going on, and it was a sign that said, "Mike Pence has never pleasured a woman." Sent it to me. Yeah.
Fitting.
That was the toughest.
I like it.
So before we get started, I did want to say, prior to we getting to know you before we started the podcast, Reem made it seem as though this conversation was going to be like, I thought you were going to come in with like a MAGA hat on, right?
Oh no.
I didn't say that.
But I that's what for some
You
reason.
also got butt probed by aliens. I'm not taking
What you gonna do?
That is true.
But
That did happen.
But even and that's not. I'm not trying to say because even if you did like MAGA, I'm not the one to cancel you. Right? Like this is about having a discussion.
Definitely.
Why I brought that up is because I'm not. So I was already uncomfortable having this conversation, right? Because I'm not the one to have this conversation.
Okay.
I know David had the conversation with somebody, and Bubs has had this conversation as well. It's just not me. One is just that I'm not the person to be yelling at somebody who doesn't have a mask on. I don't care. I'm not going to get into a fisticuffs with somebody over a mask or anything like that. The second thing is that my knowledge isn't as good as I want it to be. Like I can't pull out historical facts like, hey, in 1940, this and this happened. So that stops me from having the conversation. But I'm glad that we're doing this. I think it's gonna be fun, and I'm ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. So I think, one of the biggest things, and to your point, right, is I've never had this conversation really either. One of my best friends, he's Guatemalan, great kid, love him, part of the wedding, awesome dude, right? And I've never had any type of serious conversation. I was thinking about that on the way over. I've never really had a serious conversation about that with him, right? He's my best friend.
Let's talk about why. Well, one, how we got here, right? With this conversation, I think it's important for the people listening and watching to understand. So, if I'm remembering correctly, it was ignited with the Kyrie Irving not wanting to start the NBA season. Right, he wanted to hold off on the NBA season because it was going to take away from the Black Lives Matters movement. And not to say that you were like mad at him about it, but you didn't think it was the best option as far as how to have this dialogue and move forward with it. So you did something that, again, out of the blue, I'm minding my fucking business. Tell the world what you did when you sent the conversation video.
Oh, so yeah, well, a couple things before, right? I remember I got a voicemail from you at 6 a.m. one night. It was in May. It was the bright spot of my entire pandemic. You said something to me, if someone could only hear, or if someone could hear your voice and see your hair, they'd bring a smile to the face. And you said just some awesome words. And I think just over the past like few months, right? So much going on. I think I saw that video of Emmanuel Acho from NFL player. Yeah. He it was a YouTube video with him and Matthew McConaughey, right? And the way they talk to each other, I thought it was such a cool idea of bringing two people together, right, who come from different backgrounds and just having a discussion.
Just dialogue.
Yeah. As it relates to Kyrie, I think the number one thing that would have been awesome, I mean, he was so mad because he was told he couldn't go, right? If he could have gone down, right, they have an unbelievable platform right now that they're all taking advantage of. And, I mean, I hate LeBron, right, but I commend the crap out of him.
Right.
He does so much good for making this world a better place. Yeah. Yep. And he's never done anything wrong. Just other than being
it even hurts for you to say he was like,
he struggled to say that.
He struggled.
He's like, we gotta play LeBron. God damn it!
But no, and I mean, I definitely, I think I'm a level-headed person. So to your first point, I think politics. I'm not really into politics at all. I think being a good person is the number one thing in the world. That's really why. I mean, I thought Obama is one of the best presidents, right?
He had a positive
he comes
light
on the
about
TV.
him.
He's talking to a nation during any point in time, and like you felt like he had your back, and he was.
They hate Barack.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! But I don't hate Barack.
I don't hate.
Like I say, I honestly the only reason why I like him. The only reason why I like him, seems like a great family man, and just
a good person.
He was overall good person. The voice that
he seems like a very good person.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think the current Trump, right? I mean, he's kind of a jerk, right? And he's not afraid to voice that opinion. Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah, and that's not a good person, right? So and then I look, I don't know. I see.
Are there any good people in the race right now? Right? This is the question.
Right. I think so. I think honestly, the idea of a businessman, right, leading this country, one of the most important economies in the world, probably, if not the, right? I think having a businessman as president is a pretty cool idea, right?
Right.
No, it's not a bad idea.
It's just the worst, probably the worst job to have, and no one doesn't want to do that. And
no, he wants to.
It's tough.
Trump wants
to. But just for his ego, right?
Power, narcissism type shit.
No, yeah, I'm definitely not going to be spouting that. But because honestly, I think one of the other first conversations we had, because what I've tried to do since the pandemic, right, is just open up to other opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. Listen to other people talk.
Yep.
Right? And every time I would see one of those videos, I'd reach out to you, reach out to some other guys, just sending those videos out, and hearing people have those, what you call, right, uncomfortable conversations, that's a pretty powerful thing.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why do we call it uncomfortable?
Because it can be.
But who's uncomfortable?
Somebody is.
But yeah, somebody can.
Well, I think like we said, I've never had these conversations.
This is not uncomfortable because Mike A is mostly on the same level when it comes to the mentality and the way good people think.
Right.
He's going to be on the same level of us because we're good people, right? So that's going to come first.
And he's been texting with us.
We've all been texting, right? So we all have
listening.
And we all have a level of a cadence that once we connect, we're going to be like, oh, all right, All right, cool.
cool.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Cool.
So it's not going to be uncomfortable. But there are people that are going to challenge even that sphere, right? And they're going to challenge it with, like you said, narcissism or ego, right? And they're going to come in it with a different perspective that's not challenging. It's aggressive, right? It's not, hey, I'm going to offer my opinion, which is contrary to, which we do all the time here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not that. It's, no, but fuck you and your opinion.
Right.
Because it's minor to my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. That's when it gets to a weird point, because now it's like, now we gotta fight over no longer about the topic, but about who's more right about the topic, which then gets into a weird situation, right?
And I think the way in the manner that people deal with conflict, I think is what makes people uncomfortable. So when you don't know how to deal with conflict and understand that we can disagree, you don't have to agree on everything, and I don't have to hate you after disagreeing. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
Then fuck you.
Right.
I don't like you. And then I think that's what makes it uncomfortable. But if you're confident in what you're speaking about and you truly believe in your values, if those are your values, then I don't see where it becomes uncomfortable. But I think it becomes uncomfortable when the opposing side or whatever side feels like, I don't know how to articulate myself anymore. And so,
Yeah, I guess. Is the Holocaust an uncomfortable conversation?
could be.
It could be if we had a Jewish person in here that was
and
older.
If you did a comparison, right? They try to compare the Holocaust to slavery.
Yeah,
And I'm not.
We could be having
and that's not what I'm trying
conversation.
to. I'm not trying to compare that. But if that conversation went that way, like somebody, if I think Kava said, if I'm not understanding of what you're trying to say, and somebody could be like, well, fuck the Holocaust. They didn't go through 500 years of slavery.
Set it off.
So
And then that it's like
no.
whoa.
I didn't want to compare the two. I guess
But I think it gets that when I don't understand the Holocaust and your pain and your struggle, and then I only want to talk about me.
That's a very painful conversation,
Right.
And I don't know if
Because it was painful. It was painful me. It was painful for me to go to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
And see it.
But I guess that's what I'm questioning. It's not the actual event.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the event.
It's just a conversation.
The conversation about it. It's like it's been accepted that what Hitler and the Nazis did was atrocious. It was just monstrous. It's the definition of evil. There's no uncomfort about that statement. Right. It's an agreed upon fact amongst the world. But when we talk about black and white relations in America, and we can point to factual events, I'm not comparing it to the Holocaust, but in that similar kind of like monstrosity where this is fact. This happened. It's 100% the truth. But when we try to engage in dialogue about it, then it gets this uncomfortable. But I don't understand how we can accept.
I think the Jewish community goes through the same thing.
Well, I think it must have been you who brought it up, right? When you're talking about what Edelman and Deshaun Jackson, right? Having that conversation, the two of them offering to one another, I think that's such a step in the right direction. And I think it was probably you, right, who mentioned that the museums aren't on par, but at least having that, right? Seeing two such powerful people, right, come together and talk, because I think back to just the point about when we were talking about just other people engaging, I think if you took someone who is well respected, maybe like Michelle Obama, right, and you have another someone who's a Republican. I honestly, I really don't even know her deal. I'm really not into politics like at all. But I don't know. I thought McConaughey was the perfect type of representation. Maybe having them on a grand platform, that way everyone kind of rallies, but likes both of those people.
Right.
Hearing where they're coming from a respected opinion. Because nowadays, I mean, it's just, I don't know, we get a lot of bad people talking, and
I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable with even having that conversation with Trump.
Yeah.
Right. Or somebody of the likes that has the mentality, same characteristics and values as Trump because I'm willing to listen.
How far are you willing to listen?
I'm not as far as Trump.
How far are you willing to listen? Like when are you like,
I don't know.
I don't want to do this conversation anymore.
Nah,
I
you
don't-
know what?
because-
I'm willing to listen. I don't.
Probably when
because
Monkey
you can
comes
handle-
out.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets disrespectful,
conversations over Monkey.
But because you can handle yourself, right?
Right.
There's no.
Oh, when that word
nothing-
comes out.
Yeah,
if it gets if it
probably
gets
where I'm gonna stop listening.
yeah, if it gets
All right.
disrespectful, yeah, but I'm willing to listen to what he has to say.
Nah, man, listen more when it gets disrespectful. Because then he has you. He has
No.
your feelings in his
I
hands.
just got-
Don't give him that, man. Don't give him that.
Conversa-
Hold it
I think that's
together.
a good point.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get him after this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
get
it.
him
I'm
after
gonna cry
this.
after this, but I'm gonna get him after this.
I'm gonna cry in the car.
End it before I get
Nah,
violent.
don't give it to him.
Before I
Don't
get
give it to
violent. But like there are certain topics that I would entertain, even though I don't agree with at all. Like the Confederate flag thing, the whole Confederate monuments thing, and why they should stay. Do I think they should stay? No. But could I listen to somebody's explanation about their heritage and how they were raised and the conversations that they told around? I guess fucking campfires. I don't know what else they're talking about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear that out. That wouldn't be a problem. But when you went into if you go into the disrespectful
Racial
aspect,
slurs
then
and stuff like that.
I
Yeah.
can't do all
And
that.
that's got to be in every aspect of life, right? Like that's just the mindset. If we all had that mindset of not being disrespectful,
Right.
Mm.
If it was more of share your experience with me so that maybe I can see why it's important to you
Yeah.
Mhm.
versus telling me this is important to
Yeah.
me and
Right.
it's going to be the way that it is.
Mm.
But
Do you think that you've, and I don't know if this have done anything that could seem as racist? Like if you hear,
you heard the way he said pack?
like when you hear like black women, they talk about, I was at work and this woman said, "Oh, you got beautiful hair," and then she tried to touch me. Like that is deemed as, that's stereotypical. That's racist.
oh,
Can you see yourself? Can you see something that you've done that could be seen as that way?
so I think there's always learning experiences, right? I think I didn't really necessarily know. I thought a black woman's hair sometimes was always.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
I just don't want to say the wrong
Say
thing.
nappy as fuck. Say it.
No, that's the point of this dialogue, right?
yeah.
To say
I honestly don't know
Well,
the right words.
the reason why
Say
I'm asking is because
hair like wool. Like
because you asked the question of, have you guys ever dealt with racism? And I had to think into my head. It's like, I don't think that I've ever had to deal with any kind of racism that
I
I can
definitely know.
like.
You would have
could think of.
experienced it, right? Absolutely understand that.
I think the only time I experienced racism was at Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah. I told them before, I grew up, I was oblivious to racism, systemic
did say that.
oppression.
They didn't know it existed.
I was
Yeah.
just like,
I think there's probably certain things that I have thought or maybe I don't think done, right? Necessarily. I really pride myself on how I handle myself, both verbally and kind of just walking around, right? No, but I think there's probably things subconsciously,
Mhm.
and I'm not naive to that. Maybe there's something that I think part what the question was just what might that be that I'm not thinking of when we're talking about the hairs, right? Someone taught me about that,
right.
right? It's not something I ever found out from living with mom and dad.
So I don't know that racist is the right word here. It could be
Maybe that's what I said.
Maybe
maybe stereotypes.
of certain
prejudice.
Prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or stereotype of
And
certain
what do you
races.
what's
right?
the most common thing do you think that maybe a white man might do or woman that you would deem is like prejudice, right?
Some dude said I had a Steph Curry thing going on, and I still don't understand what the fuck that means.
Wet jumper?
That is hilarious.
No, it's
I
definitely not
still-
the wet jumper.
Is that prejudice?
Certainly.
I don't know what
It
that
isn't,
means.
because
Bad
he
ankles?
didn't he didn't prejudge.
But I don't know him.
It's not racist because
For you, it's a compliment. You're not athletic at
How
all.
is it a compliment?
it's fucking hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
You like
Was it a white guy?
Yes.
You and Steph Curry are about the same complexion.
I think that's what happened.
If he gets a tan.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the word racist gets thrown out there for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's probably true.
Right. That's probably,
Right. But
I would have said that.
and I think it's because
As we have chicken wings on the table.
I think it's because of where we're at right now, and everybody's is sensitive. And so if you said something,
Is it sensitive though?
I think so. Like you just thought that was racist because
I didn't say it was. I said I don't know what to take that as.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I have an example. The subtle astonishments, like when I say shit. You own a home? Yeah. Fucking 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Oh, a 2-family. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's sometimes there are moments in life where, and I know you hear it often with how well he speaks or articulates or that type of shit, like where there's that almost like astonishment of like, and I have to blame it on, I think, media, to be honest with you. We assume that white people interact with black people all the time, but we're only 15% of the population, right? So there can be pockets of the world where...
Is that real? 15%? That's crazy.
Where there are pockets of the world where you don't see a black person until you go to college. Like I've met white people who have been like, you're the first black person I've ever spoken to in person, right? So what they have to feed on is music, videos, movies, and then we're always what gets pushed the hardest, right? The gangster movie, the gangster rap, the shit like that. So when it's just like, do you have credit? Yeah, I care about that shit too. And we do Christmas and Thanksgiving and shit like that.
You're educated?
Those are those subtle, just like...
And it's the tone, right? It's the condescending tone that comes with it.
The shock of it all, I guess, is what makes it uncomfortable for me.
That's terrible. I mean, honestly, too, you handle yourself like a great businessman in the office, right? I have nothing but respect. And working with Dave, too, you guys are two of the smartest people, best dialogue I've had, right?
Especially Dave because he's Dominican, right?
Damn. What?
Because he made it out of a third world
tell you.
country.
I mean, you guys, I showed up into work 7 years ago to an awesome situation, and you guys just had such a good friendship with great people that, and I guess maybe I misunderstand too, and am so naive, I guess, to some of those bad times, but because every time I think of you, we're having an awesome vibe.
And that's what made the group as great as it was, because there was that synergy of just like, all right, everybody here is good people. That's all. That's fine. And it more so happens with baby boomers. It's not our age, our generation.
And is it in what certain areas?
No, just age category.
But I mean, like certain area, because you go up and down to New York, right, up to Boston. Is there certain pockets? Because
I don't know. I don't register them like that. Like
I experienced it more. I've experienced it more in corporate versus the real world.
Right.
Way more in corporate. In the real world, it would be my first experience would be like, or my top experience would be cops. I had way too many, like way too many. So that would be number one. And then outside of that, it would be right into like in corporate. See, you asked a very good question, and instead of, I guess I'll answer it in a different way. Just to give a different perspective on things. The one thing that people take for people, and I want to commend you for having a best friend since you were young and never having this type of conversation, because you may feel bad about that, but that's commendable, because that means that it's so fucking beautiful. It's like the story of Reem not realizing that racism exists. You're not even...
That's crazy, by the way.
But there's so much beauty in that, because that's not even what you're putting you're not even allowing that thought or that situation to enter your psyche. So that's not how you move. And that allows you to move differently.
Everywhere.
And
plus, I didn't grow up around racists. There's a bunch of black people.
So because of that, you don't see certain things. Naivety has a great power to it, and that is that it allows you to move differently than people that are being affected and being torn down by knowledge sometimes,
Or growing
by
fear.
by the fear of what they know, right? Of too much information, and that's only because you may not be processing correctly, right? You may be processing too much where you're not sleeping, you're stressed, it's affecting your psyche, right? So I want to commend you for that because I think you should be proud of that. But at the same time, what I don't think the world realizes, which is to me, and y'all can speak differently about this because this is not my maybe in this day and age it would be perceived that this is not my place to say it, but in this podcast it's my place to say it. The biggest thing is, where are you from? Where's your lineage? Where's your family from?
Italian, and my dad's family's a little all over here.
So that's great. So you can go back to Italy I can go back to the Dominican Republic. I know that my lineage is from there. Alex knows that his lineage is from Dominican Republic.
Wherever Steph Curry's from.
I even know that I have some Spaniard in me. Like there's some Spaniards in me. Reem, what part of
Brooklyn?
Lockwood Plaza.
So people don't even, as a people don't even understand from just a psychiatric perspective what that does to an individual, what that does to a tribe, what that does to a community, what that does to a family. Think about that.
Yeah.
The fact that you can trace your lineage back to a place somewhere that you may or may not ever be, that and you have grandparents that you can trace back. What's your great-great-grandfather's name?
Sumter, South Carolina is apparently where my whole family started.
Right.
Right.
The entire thing.
The whole Noah Smith, Sumter, South Carolina. I think he was just the first freed member of our family.
So that right there is something that is never talked about. It's never discussed. And I think it's because it's part of, there's a lot of things that are weeds and plants and flowers that we tend to, right? Like right now, MAGA and Black Lives Matter is a flower that's just shining in our fucking face, and it's so beautiful and bright and vibrant that we can't not pay attention to it. But there's things in the root.
Definitely.
There's things in the root that are affecting people in ways that, man, you know what I'm saying? The psyche of it is very, very deep. And until we can have a conversation about that, you know what I'm saying? Until we can talk about, well, how is it that we come up from that to all of a sudden, oh, you own a house with 2 families? What?
Right.
Dog, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Powerful point. I never thought about
that's
that.
just
No,
My history only goes so far.
And my mom, more of my mother, told me growing up not to see color, right? So it allowed me to operate in different spaces without any biases. But it also, I don't even know if I could say naive because I didn't know anything else. Yeah. But I didn't understand why my friends didn't have what I had. And that lack of knowledge of not understanding that, not being taught that racism is one thing to say, don't see color. But I feel like you should tell me that racism exists. But you growing up, I don't want you to see color because I don't want you to be part of that.
Right.
Because now it would have gave me a better understanding of why some of my friends and most of my friends and cousins had single parent households, right? And that becomes because of some of these racist systems that are put in place that further keep our people oppressed. It would have gave me a better understanding of, damn, all right, I can see why you hang on the block 24/7. I can see why you're going to the streets to hustle and make a living when I can go home, I got a meal on the table, I got food, I got clothes, bills are paid, father goes to work every day, mom goes to work every day, and I get to see these things, and I have somewhat of a stable foundation, and the rest of my friends and family don't. But I'm sitting there like, why?
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask you a question. I don't know that. So I want to see color.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't. That whole browning, I think that it tears down the individual attributes of a person or people, right? I don't know what I was reading, and it was like, we shouldn't be trying to, and it had to do with at the job. They wanted to, they're starting up the diversity conversations now, right? The diversity conversations.
Pandering.
Let's listen, right? That kind of shit is happening.
I did. I
I
thought that
listened.
was pretty good.
I listened.
Yeah.
You have to be a part of it, right?
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
anyone has to be, but you have to take part in it, right? So I'm taking part in it. In that one, we had some smaller ones, but in one of the smaller group settings, and I forgot what I was reading, but it was just like, it's not about the browning of the world, like mixing everything up into one color, don't see color. Everything is just this. No, it's more about the salad bowl, right? Like you need lettuce, you need tomatoes, you need cucumbers, you need whatever you put in your salad. You know what I mean? Mayonnaise. No, I'm fucking with you. But like, so it's not about not seeing a color for me. It's about seeing it and appreciating it for what it is and what it can be versus what I may have been like programmed to think about.
I think my mother was specifically saying black and white.
Just black and white. Right. Ain't no Native Americans in this motherfucker.
And I think it came from a context of, I don't want you judging white people.
Yep.
And I think, right, more so than what she's saying, the way she's doing it, the way she's raising you, I think that's the most important piece, right? Leading by her example. I think everything we pick up from our parents, I'm so thankful my parents are two of the best people in the world, right? And I think everyone wants to feel that way, right? And I don't take that for granted at all. But I think that is, and that's something as an expecting father, that's something that I want to make sure I am providing for my daughter. Right. And I think that's that's what wakes me up every morning.
Girl, huh?
I know. Tough.
You want practice?
You have a girl?
14 years old. You want practice? I'll give you practice.
Absolutely.
At least a handful.
I don't know.
She's a handful.
I don't know. I wouldn't start with
Oh,
Megatron.
no babysitting. No babysitting. I'm sorry.
No. Small disclaimer. My daughter is great everywhere else other than her own house.
Weren't we all?
I hear it. It's like, no, Ellie's the most helpful. She cleans.
Were you
She
guys
does-
not like
Oh no,
that?
no, she's sweet. Don't get me.
What?
She's sweet. I swear.
Is-
She's great, except she can be a lot.
Yeah.
She's the reason why my grass ain't cut, because she lost
True.
a bet. She owes me
True.
a lawnmower.
True.
That's hilarious. She's dope though.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever experienced, I guess, an uncomfortable moment from someone of a different race or background, color, creed, sexuality?
Or even your own race.
Right.
Uncomfortable? I think back to the point, there's a lot of people who don't know how to handle themselves, like you mentioned in that type of environment, right? People escalate things. I mean, you see people yelling at a poor woman who's working behind a cash register at a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like? I mean, she's doing nothing wrong. My father, he works for a supermarket. He's been in the supermarket business for 40 some odd years, and he comes home with just crazy stories. Right. And I think it's little things like that. The way he tells that story to me, right? You realize that who you want to be as a person, and I think you just try and execute that.
So no one is like pushed you out of the store for not wearing your mask yet.
So, right? Wear the mask, right?
I'm with you.
I just think it sucks. It stinks, right?
How do you
You
think?
gotta just do it, right, for the better good.
Yeah, I agree with you. How do you think? Have you, or how do you think you would, hypothetically, if you haven't? How do you think you would deal with some another white person saying racial things in front of you, like with nobody else in front of you? Nobody else is just you and this person speaking, just having a conversation. How do you think that you would handle it?
Are you empowered?
That
to
would be
check your friend?
uncomfortable. So calling them out, I think that's a tough conversation to have. Definitely 100%, right? It's the uncomfortable, I didn't realize that he would just throw that word around and stuff like that. I'm not a confrontational person, right? In the least. My goal, my role in the friendship, I feel like, is to bring people happiness, right? Not divert anything like that. So by nature, I'm just not a confrontational person. But I think you have to, right? I think there was a point in time where maybe I didn't or wouldn't have, but I'm starting to become an older man, right? Realizing what's important, and I think I would have to. And I think this, right? Hearing, and I'm sure I'll hear more, right? That's my duty, right? That's my responsibility, and that's the way we can kind of bridge things and make this an awesome country.
Yeah, because
and hopefully it wouldn't be an uncomfortable conversation because it's your friend already. So it's like, bro,
yeah,
what about that made that come out?
Yeah.
Like, why did you say that? Like, what was going on? Like, what happened?
I'm even
I've
talking.
never seen that about you. Like, what's going on?
I think that's very important
no
that you
one
bring
would.
up, though, because, like, look, everybody can be clowned. White, black, Spanish, Asian.
And we've all said
And
or
we
done
all
some shit that's
clown
been crazy.
Everybody.
Yeah.
This is not a problem. Like, I got in trouble the other day. It's like, you can't call them the Asians. And I was like, why not? Like, I've been calling my Filipino friends the Asians for forever. But in some people's circle, that's uncomfortable. So it's all right to be checked on. But at the same time, I just want us to keep, some... Let's not get too sensitive about shit. You know when it's outright hate, anger, rage, negativity. You know when it's that. If it's that, then that's a checkable moment.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Right.
But if it's I'm just
Rapping the word,
rapping the word.
right?
Can you rap the word, nigga?
Ooh,
Mike.
Definitely not in front.
You know you got that word before.
Definitely
you
not
know
in-
you was in that motherfucker.
Definitely not in front of other people.
And here it
Maybe,
is.
dude,
It's the
maybe
truth.
at the club.
Yeah, in the car while
Listen.
they're driving home.
Listen.
Why
No,
not?
no,
You
no.
can
I
rap
was
the word.
No,
I
no,
took
not.
my godson to a concert at the Dunk. It was Rick Ross, Lil Wayne. It was a bunch of acts. Weezy was the final act. And when Weezy came on,
Good luck.
there was 5 white girls behind me.
Good luck.
And when I say they knew more of the words to Weezy songs
Yo,
than I
good
did,
luck.
and
He
they
was it.
what the N-word?
That's it.
They was like, what?
Did you check him?
No.
What are you gonna do about it?
No.
What are you gonna do?
We went to go see Drake versus Wayne, right? It
Yeah.
was
2014?
87% in Infinity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was
Monday
87%
night.
Caucasian.
After work.
It's 87%
And I was like-
Caucasian. Like,
I looked at them.
That was a great show.
They was like,
That was a
great show.
they was out there like,
Dude,
Yo, Mike was dropping mad M-bombs that night.
I'm too tall to
from
call
South
that.
Street. Dude from, the white dude from South Street.
Justin.
Yep.
Nah, he was like
big
he was very like humble, right?
You know what I'm talking about, Justin
No,
Glasses.
you're
Rustillo.
talking about Justin, a little dude.
I'm talking
with
about
the
the
beard,
dude.
Yeah.
the bigger.
No,
bouncer one?
no. Early days.
Bartender?
Not Paulie. Paulie's dead.
Not Paulie.
Was he a bar?
Maybe he was a bartender. Maybe he was a bouncer.
He's a bouncer. Did he go over to Camp Nowhere now?
He was like a red hair.
I don't know this guy.
I don't know.
Quick
Used to say
question.
it all of the time. I remember going up. I think I said this on the podcast before. Going up to Corn and be like, "Yo, what's going on? What's happening?
Y'all live there, so I don't know anything about
What's
it.
happening?" And he was like, "Nah, he's fine."
Mm.
And that was my first time. I was like 21
Cole said
years
that.
old. I
Cole
was
gave
like,
him the pass,
I
huh?
was like,
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
defund the fire department.
he wasn't on the approval list.
Some South Street old school shit right now. But
No.
I think you can drop. If it's music, it's music, bro. And they made it. They made it to be repeated. I'm not gonna check.
I don't think we have a say. If you go to any high school, college right now, we don't have. There's no say.
No.
The world is a different
Yeah.
place. Yeah, it's a different place.
Now, if you
places.
walk up to me,
Yeah, it's a different place.
a
Yeah.
whole different story. But like, you know,
I remember usually do nonviolence training at Lifespan Summer Job Program, and we always ask the question. It's called Walk the Line. It's like an icebreaker that we do, and so you have agree, disagree, unsure, right? And then you just make statements, or you can ask a question. Whether people go wherever they feel. So we always ask the N-word. Is it ever appropriate to use the N-word? And these are kids between 14 and 18. And when I say the room is all over the place, it's all over the place. Like there's about 80 young folks. And so you might have 20 here, 30 here.
That's interesting, man.
And then you have the other 30 is over here.
That's
And then they
dope.
start moving as kids start speaking. So we always got to pick on one white kid. Is it ever comfortable to use the N-word? No.
Not when niggas is in the room.
And is it appropriate for you to use it when you hear a song? I don't think it's appropriate for me, but you all, black people can. So we always make a joke out of it. So niggas can use it.
Damn
right?
it.
And so
I volunteer for this?
yeah, and so we're like, what? No, they never volunteer. Where you from? Portsmouth. And so, how many out there? He's like, 5. We're like, 5 niggas? He's like, no, whoa, no.
I didn't say it.
So it was a setup. It was a set. Kid turned beet red, and his face just turned beet red. But it wasn't so much about the white kids using the N-word. It was more about the kids of color and how they feel about the N-word. And some of them, no, it's not okay to use it because they'll go back to lineage, right? My great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother suffered because of that word. And she taught me that she suffered because of that word and the people that she grew up. And then you got kids that are just like, nah, fuck that. We transformed the word. We own it.
Right.
Okay. And it's not like no
And you're
disagreement.
always going to have that kid.
Right. And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
there's
of
a bunch of
course,
them. You're gonna have adults that you're gonna have adults that do it. But I think this day and age, what and I to Alex, what Alex said, I had a conversation.
I love when you guys butter my biscuits.
About your butthole.
Hey,
Bro, we
talking
have
about?
not
Mike is
buttered
never coming
any-
back.
Whoa! Wow!
Butthurt
This
butter
conversation.
biscuits.
What? Oh,
Like, I gotta continue. To my point.
shut up. Yeah. So I was, me and another woman.
All you see is biscuits.
Oh, man.
All you see is
I might not eat
damn,
bread.
man.
glistening
I might not eat bread for the rest of the week.
Straight.
Damn. And we was talking about a lobster roll. I don't even know if I want one now.
Set,
Yeah.
man.
But and so I got invited I was asked to come have a conversation with the backyard full of white folks on the east side of Providence. And the number one question they asked is, how can we help?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's a loaded question.
Definitely.
How can you help? Oh, how can we be allies? Do you see yourself as an ally?
Absolutely. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know where I went wrong in either of our discussions where to any bit insinuate that I'm still stuck on the question of thinking I'm going to parade him with the MAGA hat, right?
He
No,
created that
I think he
himself,
created
bro.
that. I think he created that.
Don't even go into that mind, bro.
Don't let him.
I
Think
told him about the Emmanuel Acho
Yeah.
thing.
And I mean, I don't know.
That's why when Reem first mentioned, because I think we changed the title. At first, Reem first mentioned that he was like, "Yo," because I think the title of the other one is "Uncomfortable Conversation"
With a
and
black man,
uncomfortable,
yeah.
right? And I think when you first mentioned it, he was like, "Yo, we should have an uncomfortable conversation." And when he mentioned you, I was like, "It's not gonna be uncomfortable at all because Mike is kind of down. Like,
It's gonna be a comfortable
It's
conversation.
gonna be kind of a comfortable conversation."
I think I'm right with different backgrounds, right? And I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, spent my whole so
My dad didn't
coming
work
from-
at a supermarket.
Right? No, coming from different areas. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
But I think
I'm
the tie.
definitely an ally.
I think the tie is the same, and I think you mentioned it at the beginning. And if anybody agrees, let me know. But I think you mentioned it at the beginning, which was, I think the type of person you are is the first dictator. It's the first data element for you know what I'm saying, for that sake, right? It's the first dictator, like what type of person you are. And then you can start tacking on different attributes, right? Handicapped, intelligent or stupid, whatever nationality, color, whatever. But what type of person are you? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that once you take it from that perspective, you start to see that the type of people that are really responsible for the changes that may or may not be happening have a certain type are a certain type of people, and they're not the type of people that are our type of people. They're not the type of people that are looking out for humanity in any particular way. Like California is one of the richest economies in the world, and also houses 22% of the fucking homeless people in the world.
Crazy.
It's not about human
crazy.
lives or it's about economies, right? It's about
LA.
it's about making that dough, right? So I think to your point, and if anybody has any tough questions, let's get to it because I think I want to get to some fun shit. But at the same time, to your point, I think it starts at, are you a good person? And if you are, you're gonna follow there's gonna be certain cadences and certain morals that you're gonna follow anyways because you're a fucking good person. Right. But if you're a shady motherfucker, there's gonna be some shady shit that's gonna happen. And if you're a bad person, you're gonna get into some bad shit.
I mean, I think Reem's a good person until somebody flashes a little bit of extra cash, and then he might.
They're a good capitalist in the world. They're a good capitalist in the world. I don't hurt anybody in my pursuit of money.
Yeah. So Mike, we might need you to be the mediator here between people of color because they somehow. Yeah.
We did? You people.
Even though
You who can trace y'all lineage back to the rude ass Dominican Republic.
Even though it ain't a word, but use people. But no, the question I have is that have you experienced a time, right, when your privilege, white privilege, you saw it in your benefit, but somebody else, a person of color, didn't reap those same benefits? And when people ask me, or white people ask me, what can I do? And we say we need allies. I mean, we need white folks who are going to, when they see an injustice or a wrongdoing, say something about it, right? Because I think if you're not going to say anything, then how are you an ally? Or unless you're doing something else.
Yeah. So the only way, and just from talking through it, right, is, I mean, I think there's little ways to boost a community, right? Everyone can do their part, right? I moved to Cumberland 3 years ago, and I've been part of the basketball program at the Boys and Girls Club, right? And having being there, right, for them, it's their 1 hour a week, and it's, for me, it's hour one of a 4-hour program. But being able to be like a smiling face, being able to be a supportive member of the community, I think is so important.
Don't ever feel ashamed to say "fuck them kids."
Because Alex does all
There
the
was one time.
Alex does all the time.
Yeah, there was one time that I was getting a little upset, but I'm just not a confrontational person.
Was it a black kid?
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah, here we go.
Just so happened to be the
honestly,
one.
Honestly, could have been. Oh no, there's a bunch, and it's just a great way to give back. That's what I think I'm so close with all my friends from high school, and the reason why is through sports, right? Through playing in community sports with each other, it just kind of builds so much friendship. And if I can do my best to give back in that aspect, that's one way I try. And then I think just sitting here making myself available to this. Yeah. Right.
Which we are appreciative of.
How many people have you guys had on that have been white?
Yeah, I swear to God, I was just asking myself that. I was like, I think that we have been subconsciously discriminating.
And there's nothing
I'm fine
wrong
with
with
it.
that.
This is the first.
I'm fine with it.
This is the first white person that's been on the
Yeah,
podcast,
that's cool.
right?
That's all right. He might be the last.
Might be the last.
Might not even air.
It will now.
I might not post it.
Not even there.
No.
Oh, shit. Alex loses this one just like that.
Was you the? So you played basketball?
Yeah.
I mean, you about what? 6'4"?
6'3".
6'3". You can shoot. You're white.
I try, but
you can't shoot. Damn, Reem.
Looks like a rebounder defender to me. I think I got more.
Yeah.
And so you played
I
as
feel
a
like
kid.
he's more enforcer.
Yeah.
Was you? So you had black kids on your team?
Yeah, I mean, so I never played.
Did
I didn't play in high school.
Did every kid want to stay at your house?
No, we had a friend with a pool, so we were always there.
Ah, because no, I'm just saying because I know as a kid, all the white players on my team, see you Sunday night, leaving Friday. Yeah, going to the white people's house.
Oh,
it's nice. They have pools. Yep, I'm out. No, it was a way to like. I want to escape my neighborhood. Like I want to get out. Like I want to go.
And sports is a way out.
Sports was a way out, but
the
people that I've met, you know, I'm in Attleboro. I'm in Cumberland, like the rich part of Cumberland, right? And I'm in Lincoln and places like that. It was just a way to I want to see something different. Yeah. And so I'm going to use my white friends to see something different.
And did you enjoy that? Like, is that, and was
absolutely.
that in the suburbs?
Yes, it was.
Now, is that, is the sense?
One of my coaches, God rest his soul, Italian. White pizza. Never had it a day in my life. I love it.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I love
Where
it.
Are you from Providence?
Yes. Yep.
And
South Providence.
Living in Providence now?
Nope. I live in the suburbs.
And
I live in the richest town in the state. I'm not rich, by the way.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But why do you do that?
It was for my kids.
Look, I thought
like
you were
that,
about to say to get
but
get away from these niggas.
Get the fuck away.
I'm sure you
know I'm a block advocate. I can't.
Do you have pride in that? Because that is right. That's the thing. My parents were raised.
I have no shame in that. I have no shame in that.
And I think if that's what your goals are, right? If that's the way you think is in your opinion, the best way to raise your family. Yeah, that's incredible. That
honestly,
you can do
if it was up to me, we still be living in South Providence.
Yeah.
But it wasn't only my decision until it was like, do you want to pay for private school? No. Yeah, we're gonna move.
Yeah. Priorities supersede.
Right.
And would you want to still live there because of the sense of community and like that's where all your friends?
It's where I'm from. Yeah. It's where I work on a day-to-day basis.
But that's where you also wanted to escape?
Yeah. As a kid, I did.
So why would you want your kids to grow up in a place that you wanted to escape?
Because as I got older, I was able to, even as a kid, I was able to navigate the city without any problems. Yeah. And so it was more about me. It wasn't even about the kids. It's like, I'm good here.
Yeah. Right.
Is it comfort? Because I would love to raise my family in Rainham where I grew up.
I was comfortable. Yeah. That doesn't mean everybody else should suffer because it wasn't like I was going to allow my kids to do the things that I did or I was allowed to do. Like I was allowed to be out in the streets and play outside and go up and down Broad Street. And
but how would you stop that? But how would you stop that?
I can't say I have 100% control of it, but
you couldn't. But my thing is, I think that where you found me, they say Reem can't go back home. I heard that when I was back home. I think that actually kind of feeds that prejudice where if all you know is the same shit you've always known, the same shit your parents always knew, like how much are you really evolving? How much are you really growing? Like for me to come from New York to Rhode Island, easy decision. I don't get shot in Rhode Island, right? This is all right up here. But I wasn't afraid to do it. Like I knew, and I'm telling you, I grew up kind of oblivious to racism because who's going to be racist to me in Port Richmond? There's nobody to be racist to me. If there's a white person in Port Richmond, he might be on crack. So I'm probably looking down on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like, so that's, but at the same time, I knew that this is not where I was going to be. I don't want to raise my kids there. Capitalistic, whatever. I'm thinking that pool. I'm thinking that the house that the kids on the basketball team want to come over. Now I got a good enough heart to be like, hey, all you babies can come over and hang out. It is what it is. Any person, creed, or color, as long as you're on the good side of life. That evil side of shit, I don't fuck with it. Right. And if that kid got you pissed off at that Boys and Girls Club, probably because he was an evil motherfucker, and you sense that. So no, your little badass baby can't come. But yeah, I intend to, like this right now. I'm in Providence. I'm comfortable.
I was having a conversation with my son about the state of the internet because he lives on the internet, and I'm rarely as you guys know, I'm rarely on my phone anyway. So, but he lives not on the internet, but social media, right? Because I'm on the internet too, but I'm just not on social media as much and on my phone. But we were having a conversation, and he was like, "Why do you think that? Why is it?" He said, "Why is it that when we go out, people are so super nice, but as soon as I go on my phone, that's just not the case."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I told him, I said, can you count on one hand how many mean people you've met this year? And he was like, yes. And I said, can you count on two hands how many nice people you've met this year? And he was like, no. And I was like, because you've met way too many nice people, right? That's because the world is filled way more with nicer people than it is with assholes. However, there's a highlight right now and the highlight isn't on assholes. It's that there's just a lot of asshole shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of asshole shit. And because there's a lot of asshole shit, and we probably as a society should cut it out. Hey, stop it.
Celebrate it. We celebrate it.
We may celebrate it in some instances.
But that's because there's no consequence
we
to
may
it.
celebrate it in some instances.
TMZ.
But
there's
we're
a whole teen pregnancy.
Fuck TMZ.
Yeah.
You know,
there
fucking
are
reality TV shows.
100%. There's definitely those things that are celebrating it, but there's also people shedding light and saying, "Hey, don't stand up just pay attention. Just pay attention to the buffoonery, right? Just pay attention to the fact that in some instances, you're just being this is not for you to be taken serious. You're just being entertained. Yeah. Maybe this person's going through some shit. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And to your point about social media, right? It's not your son's job to be able to. He shouldn't be the one dictating what comes across on his Twitter feed or whatever social media it may be is nice or mean, right? That's not what a young kid's supposed to be doing, right? That is, it's
they better
scary,
learn.
Yeah, I know.
They better learn.
It's everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that shit
everything.
ain't going
I
nowhere.
love Twitter, right? But I feel like I am confident enough in myself to follow accounts that I trust, right? I use it as a news source.
That's what I do too.
But some
I do.
kids, some kids and adults don't even know how to navigate or control. Because I'll see posts sometimes. And I'm like, you can control who follows you, right? You can control what you post. They don't post something and tell people to mind their business. You just gave us.
Yeah, as crazy as my man Kanye
Mike,
is.
You're having a daughter soon, right? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Congratulations.
Crazy.
Congratulations, brother.
Scary world.
The most rewarding frustration.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, I know.
When you think of the world that you were raised in, and I don't know.
Yeah, I try to paint. I
you're
paint
younger.
a bad picture of Ellie, huh?
You do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You're younger than I am, so I don't know if you grew up.
I don't care.
Like, how did you find your first naked picture?
Dave grew up with vinyls.
Wait, what?
Naked.
Was it on a phone?
Wait.
Or was it in a magazine?
Playboy. We had one of my friends
Okay, all
growing
right.
up.
So how do you feel? All right, so perfect. So me was on a Playboy on a Playboy as well.
Mm.
So how do you feel having a daughter, right, coming into the world, knowing that one of the biggest and best educational sources for kids nowadays is an electronic device, right? So knowing that there are places like Twitter, right, that just flash porn anywhere.
And it's not even the people that you're
Only
following.
fans.
It's the people because they retweet. So if they retweet.
And the
like-
good ones
Yeah.
too, not like the ones on the sites.
Yeah.
The good ones.
Yeah.
How do you? And that's available.
Why do we frown upon that though? Like
I think just for kids, right?
But hold on. But we
know you don't.
I know why. I have an answer to that.
Buttermilk biscuits and aliens.
from the beginning of the baby's birth, we put them in front of TVs and let them watch violence constantly. Violence.
We started with cartoons.
There's violence in cartoons.
Which have innuendos.
Yeah.
There's
don't
violence in
understand those,
cartoons. We have an issue with people showing people having sex
I don't.
as opposed to people murdering and being the I don't
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. From the beginning, like I said earlier, as far as Rhode Island, you're interacting with more nicer people than you are as mean people, right? Is that true? Are we all in agreement with that?
Yeah.
So if that's the truth, that means that as people, you are teaching, even though we are flashing violence to them, there's still conversations about what violence means and what violence is. There's still a conversation about once that kid, bro, let one kid hit another kid and watch a parent react.
Yeah, go hit him back.
Either one,
violence begets violence.
There's gonna be a response. That could be your response.
So what's your response?
I could be more like, why did you do that?
Right. There's conversations about violence as kids because kids are violently interacting sometimes. Kids are not sexually interacting sometimes like that. Yeah. That's not something that conversation is not happening at home either. So nobody's having a conversation about sex.
I don't know if I wasn't sexual, but whatever.
I'm not saying you or Reem. I'm not saying you or Reem.
I'm not saying the experts. I'm not saying the experts. Even on the pervert shit, I wasn't having a fucking fisting conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the kind of porn that's popping up on Twitter.
Just like we're gonna play house.
Wide open.
There's no conversation. So that's my answer to the why. It's not that porn should not be. Listen, if you want to, if we as
porn as itself as the title has a negative connotation to it.
It does, and if we as a society want to include it, well, this is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying I think it's negative,
and neither am I. But I see that. Yeah. But I understand that. But if we as a society want to institute porn as a part of our daily thing, I don't disagree with that, but I also think that we should treat it like the violence conversation.
Right.
Let's have conversations.
Yeah, conversation.
Not all women want to be nutted in their face.
Bro, I treat porn the same way I treat curse words with Megatron. It's not good or bad. It's just adult. You're not old enough to take part in this.
Same as like drinking?
Same thing as drinking. You know what I mean? Like, no, this is just, it's not your lane. And you're going to come into it, bro. Take your time. You're my boy. Yeah. You're going to come into this. It's going to be just fine. But, yeah, if there's a sex scene on watching TV, I'm covering his eyes. He don't want it, but whatever. I'm covering his fucking eyes. It's just like, it's not good or bad. It's just adult. You're not old enough to understand this shit yet.
Do you cover his eyes when violence happens?
No, we watch Marvel all the time.
Why is that?
Because my violence is different. My violence isn't like American History X, which I do intend to watch with him, but it's Marvel. You know, it's fantasy. It's
still Avatar. Violence nonetheless.
It is, but it's also like superhero shit too.
But so
it's not all murder.
So my question is,
you could be Iron Man. Iron Man's violent.
Do you have that conversation? Or do you just leave it as it's fantasy? Do you have that conversation with Megatron to say, look, this is violent, but this is not real?
No.
Or you just watch it?
We just watch it. Because I think it goes back to
Dave's point. Do you think he can decipher what violence is?
When Dave said, do you meet more good people in your interactions than you do or engage in violence? Because of how we live amongst each other in here, this isn't a violent household. Mm-hmm. Like, he's done shit where some parents would have probably whipped his ass for it. Mm-hmm. Me? Good. Only time he's ever got his hands put on him is if he's done something to endanger his own life. Mm. But outside of that, he doesn't grow up around violence. So when he watches it, I don't assume that it's anything more than fantasy, because
but I'm also
it's
sure
not his reality.
I'm also sure there's been a time where Megatron has probably punched somebody.
Oh, me?
Oh, yeah.
And Reem
he was at my house.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
He beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, Bubba wouldn't mind.
So,
and he was laughing.
It's that conversation.
Yeah, he was
conversation like, yo, what are you doing? Even though we didn't have this conversation when Marvel was on,
and it was
we're going to have this conversation right now. What are you doing?
And it was her, and I was going to backhand her. But then,
You're 2 months away, Pence.
I know it's
2 months. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Boy, you better start getting all the
golfing.
The golf? No, you'll find time.
Okay.
You'll find time for life.
I've been told that's done.
It's the mental part. And I don't want to speak for all of the parents here, but not even sleep, bro. For me, it's anxiety. It's every year we celebrate Megatron's birthday, I silently pat myself on the back like, God's not dead yet. Okay. I'm doing all right.
I think you asked two very good questions. And the first one, if we have time, then I wanted to get to both of those questions. One was the fact that you are going to be a father and you wanted to know the best piece of advice that we had. And the second one was about the apps that we open.
Yep.
So I wanted to get to those two questions before anything else.
My advice, one, look at how your life is set up, right? And then So everything from financials to your job and what your job requires of you, and then look at those things and how much of those things might take up too much time for you not allow you to do the things you need to do as a father.
Yep.
And I say that because even in my own personal life, my job took up a lot of my time. Mm-hmm. And then because of my job, I needed to find things. Well, I know what thing. So my job plus basketball. Basketball is like my escape. And so I leave my job, stressed out. Let me either play ball or go coach. So it was one of the two. And then kind of feeling like, well, I'm a good father because I go home every night. I'm around my kids. I work. I provide. But not spending the essential time with them. Because now by the time I get home, I'm tired. Yeah. And so it's like, my daughter would be like, hey, Dad, can you read me a book? Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Mm. And then I do the same thing over again.
And it's been all week now.
It's been all week, right? And so now I got to fit time, and usually basketball takes up most of my weekend. And so just figuring out what your lifestyle looks like right now, and then how can you make changes in that? Or if you don't have to make any changes, then fine. If you have a lot of free time, then that's great. But figuring out if you don't have free time, what can you remove so that way you can spend that essential time, not only with your child, but with your wife, I'm assuming.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how you nurture that baby together.
Yeah.
So
my advice: listen to everyone's advice. Don't take everyone's advice. So there's a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna tell you about how you supposed to, what you supposed to do. Or what,
yeah.
No,
that's true.
That baby is an extension of you, and who knows you better than you, right? Now, there's great advice out there. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say listen to it all, but there's just there's certain shit that you're gonna know that's like, yeah, well that could have worked for your kid. Like I just sat here and said the only time I put hands on Nicholas is when he's endangering himself.
And isn't that kind of what life is, right? You take in everyone's opinions, right?
Yeah.
Take in what people
good
say.
People do.
Well, you listen, right? You listen to what they have to say, right? Mm. Yep. This conversation is going to help me be a better parent, right?
Yeah,
Sitting here, because I start thinking through
and
things,
be a better white ally.
Yeah, absolutely, and I should, right?
You will. I promise you, I ain't worried about you, Pence. But yeah, if that would be my one advice as a parent. It's just that, well, outside of your doctor, take his advice. Whoever your pediatrician is, take his advice.
Take that guy's advice.
Except for the vaccinations, research those. But everything
gonna have
else,
to do a lot of research coming up.
Listen, listen to all the advice that you can, especially from people that you know have raised great kids.
And be a Laker fan.
No chance.
I think I'm with Bub in a way. I think Bub said this, I don't remember, a couple podcasts ago. Don't make it about presents and material possessions.
Birthday?
Yeah, like I that's what I thought that it was, because I didn't feel like I had that. This little motherfucker doesn't even call me every night. I have to call him. It's quality time. I think it's definitely quality time.
So one thing I'm grateful about with this whole COVID shit is that even though it's frustrating to be working from home with a Megatron all day, at the same time, we've bonded in a way that
Megatron is going to be one hell of a chef. His palate is way beyond any other kid I know.
You think he ever goes 100%. Into the fucking kitchen with me though? No.
Oh, he doesn't?
I gotta argue with him to eat it. I'm like, he's like, what's that? The other day I made a fucking
and then he's like,
ribeye.
Hey, plate clean.
Exactly. I made a fucking ribeye the other day. He was like, what's this? I was like, just shut up and eat. Clean the whole plate. But there's you cannot replace time.
You can't.
Mine is I think those are all dope. Those are all dope. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. When I first had my child, I didn't have this type of audience, man.
Oh, me either.
Oh, no.
So Mike, to give you, my daughter's 14, but I have a 20-year-old son.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They got adults.
Either. So this is dope, man. So I think those are all great. So I'll add something sappy, which I've been in a very sappy mood in the last month or so. And I'll say I'll say love. And I don't mean that in the sense of, because I know love could be very broad, but I mean love in the sense of selfless love, which is tough because sometimes your own upbringing doesn't allow you to see love. It allows you to see maybe the discipline. It allows you to see maybe the conditioning, but it doesn't allow you to see a place for love. And especially, like, nobody knows where the world is going to go in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but love never goes out of style. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and I know that's sappy and shit, but at the same time, it's just your kid is going to experience a lot of shit in the world, and the world's going to throw a lot of shit at him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So why not be the type of person that throws a lot of love? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
all of the kisses you can get. I promise you, because them shits run. Like, I feel like right now my tank is kind of emptying out. Before it was like, no problem. We had a whole handshake, ended with a kiss. This is my guy. Now it's like, who's around? All right, Dad, hurry up with this fucking
Damn, already?
kiss on the cheek. Like, I'm like, damn. So, steal it all while you can, bro.
No, yeah, and I think girls, they do something different to you. Like, my son was, for me anyway, having a son was like, I can be rough with him, throwing him up in the air, catching him.
Toss that little girl around too.
I didn't do that. That's the crazy.
Equality. They want equality. Toss her up too.
Toss that.
No. Ellie probably does. She's probably like, why?
I'm gonna be a softie.
Like, why? I am too. You, but Ellie, my daughter's like, so she's called the Tom Diva, right? She can be a tomboy when she wants to, and she can be a diva when she wants to. And it's like, she wants to. You want to fight? I'm like, what are you talking about, Ellie? What you want to do? And then she swears, she'll say it. I'm from the hood. Nah. She believes it. She's like, no.
Don't discredit my efforts.
Nah. I've been around.
But for real, though.
I was in the South Side. Yeah, I went to your office a lot of times. So,
I was there.
Yeah.
You know what else?
If you was there, I was there. Yeah.
What's up?
Your wife.
Special lady.
She is. She's about to create the greatest miracle you've ever seen in your life.
Absolutely.
Make sure you appreciate that after the fact, bro. Now, I'm not married or with Megatron's mom. However, do I love and appreciate and make sure that I support as much as I can.
That's important.
Because she's going to give you the greatest gift of your life. And you've already committed to her for the rest of your lives together. Just make sure you're attentive, aware that post-traumatic is...
that postpartum.
The postpartum
is
a real thing. It can happen. Stay aware. Just, I mean,
more compliments.
Right.
More than if you compliment her now, do it 3 times.
Yeah. Do it 3 times.
Three times.
Keep the breast pump on full tilt, boy. Get it stored up. They got the bags. You freeze them. Get them stored up.
She's
so this way you can wake up.
She will be.
You're getting a pass.
This way,
unless she's doing the bottle.
Money. That's what I've heard.
Is she doing bottles?
I'm not sure yet. We've gotten some bottles. So
no. You're not getting a pass. Because that's what I'm telling you.
I'll be up.
Tell her to pump it out. Freeze it in those
bags.
bags.
Reem said no. You're going to feed that. You're going to feed the baby. You're going to feed the baby.
Invite Mike back. You
all right?
Yeah.
Mike,
you all right, Mike?
Yeah, how are you?
You good? You good?
You all right?
You want to be able to nah, I got it. You stay
Mike,
free.
that's 7 gray hairs you got now.
Oh, I got to quit it.
No, you're going to have 7 more.
Yo, so 3 apps. So 3 apps.
So apps, like
three
apps on your phone?
That you wake up you said 3 apps. The first 3 apps you wake up in the morning and look at.
Mine's not fun.
I'm a huge podcast fan. I think these are kind of, I don't know, tacky segments or whatever.
No, I like that. I like these questions.
My
cool.
Damn, my apps are not
Twitter,
fun.
ESPN.
I'll start it. I have
always the same.
I know mine, but they're not fun apps.
Mine aren't fun either.
It's just the 3 that you wake up to. Sports
betting.
No, mine's is Google Calendar.
Yeah.
It's called Slack, which is what we use for work, and then my email.
Yeah, I try to avoid social media.
And then I go to
I
get right to
it.
I get right to social media after those. Right to Twitter.
Guy.
You just follow me. My great morning, y'all.
BlackBerry work. iPhone news app, and then Instagram.
What does BlackBerry work?
That's for my job.
You-
It's the
Are
first
BlackBerry's
thing.
not selling anymore? Because I don't went to.
It's just an app now.
They just own that kind of market.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone has
They have
that.
like more
through
cloud service.
Like
VPN or
they're
whatever.
not selling phones anymore.
No. Because it was a query,
Yeah.
whatever. That
Yeah.
shit's out of here.
I never had a BlackBerry.
What?
Touchscreen.
I loved it.
I went right into the iPhone as far as like a smartphone and raised.
What are
it
your
before
three?
That. Twitter definitely, ESPN, like the sports app, and
Pornhub.
yeah.
That's Alex's. Alex's first two.
Mike, what's your?
No, mine's already on.
Mike, what's your?
Honestly,
Mine's already on when I get it
going.
on.
Yeah, it's already going.
the podcast app.
You have the Chick-fil-A app?
Oh yeah, when the Celtics hit 10 or more threes,
Put your Twitter handle in there.
when the Celtics get 10 or more threes,
Yep, they get free chicken sandwich.
free chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
What you got, Alex?
I ain't gonna lie. I went to a Celtics game and I took advantage of that.
be blacker than all of us.
You got Popeyes?
You got a
Nah, if you
chicken
got-
app.
That,
You got Popeyes?
He really does.
but I haven't had the sandwich. I've gone twice, and they didn't have it both times.
That sandwich is IBS, bro.
Mm.
It's delicious, but it's IBS.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the day for me. Like
I think so too.
right now,
I gotta
because
go three.
sports is back, it's sports bet. That's the first thing I check because I be out early, so I don't know who won. And then Fox Sports or ESPN, just check the scores, and then what would be my third?
Signs you might have
Podcast
a gambling problem.
Maybe yeah. I think the Apple Podcast would be the third one.
Yeah, I was thinking my first one always, every day. Like every day I wake up, first app, Weather Channel.
Yeah.
What's it
Gotta
gonna be
know,
like
gotta
today?
know.
I don't even care
First-
about the weather anymore. I like whatever it is.
I'm like
it
old
is.
school like that, man. Like I gotta wake up, I gotta see what it's gonna be about. What's the day gonna be
I
about?
don't even care anymore.
And I study it too. Like I study like that's the day. What's it gonna be hourly? Like how's it gonna
3
be?
o'clock.
How's it gonna be at 3?
Cause I get out about 3:30 there. I just
yeah,
wanna
somebody to know.
Yeah.
So I usually do that. And then it depending on the day. Like if I feel very, very newsy, I'll go straight to podcasts and I'll listen to like an NPR podcast about news, and then I'll try to listen to like a red podcast and a blue podcast, and I'll be like, all right, I know where the world stands now. I think
At least these two sides.
yeah, and then I'm good. And then the third app that I would usually go to is Reddit. I like Reddit. It's just so fucking fun.
Reddit's crazy.
Reddit, and it
I've
depends
been
on
on
who
there like one
It
time.
depends on what you follow too, because my feed is so dope right now. Like I don't want to change it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to follow anything else. I don't want to delete anything. I only follow like a handful or two, like maybe 10 to 12 things, and it's such a cool, fun. It's not like Twitter. It's not like Instagram. It's not like anything else. It's just such a cool, fun place for me right now. So I'm just like, all right, those. So yeah, so Reddit is usually pretty. It's pretty good for me. But those are my three.
I have one more question, and then we'll get out of here if
Yeah.
you want. You spoke about not being into politics at all.
Yeah.
I was listening to David Blaine on Joe Rogan's podcast today. Dude's amazing, by the way.
The magician?
Yeah. And
Have you read any of his books?
no, I didn't even know he had books out.
You know he don't
All right.
read.
Well,
He makes the blacks do that.
Yeah. You want me to read it for you, Alex?
Yeah, can you please?
Put together
Reem, I'll read half of it.
he wants
you
to
read the other half.
read half.
Yeah,
Put
Reem,
together a little
Reem, you read
dissertation
the other
about
half.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. No
We'll
problem.
put a PowerPoint together and everything.
PowerPoint,
We can do that because we're black. We're articulate.
So
You know?
you might have missed the episode where he was like, I don't read. They do. They read for me.
I definitely didn't say
The
that.
blacks.
I definitely didn't say that, but whatever.
I don't really read. I honestly, I listen to everything. I really do. A lot of the
I'm not
podcasts
against I have an audio
and I
book
read
too.
headlines, right, or little Twitter stories.
But my point was that you can tell that he is strictly into his magic, and that's his realm. Do you think that it's okay for someone to be naive on of what's going on right now? Like, do you think that you can just be like,
He's
I
a
don't care what's
magician.
going on? But do you think that that's okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why?
Well, what do you mean by
Like,
Like,
don't you?
what?
You don't think that
what are
he
we
should
talking about?
be?
Are we talking about like the presidential election where we have
Sure, let's
280
go. We'll go with that. I mean,
So,
maybe that. Maybe Black Lives Move, like
Oh, so
matter,
that's-
move, like
I don't
any
consider
of that.
politics.
Okay.
Personally,
Yeah,
I think everything gets politicized.
Yes.
But I do not
Why
consider.
should
I
he
think
care
it's
about the
wise.
Black Lives Matter movement if most black people don't care about Black
that
Lives
No,
Matter?
I think everyone
that was
should.
Actually,
I
really
think, like,
good
that-
statement.
the
That's
meme-
not
the meme
political.
that I
It's
showed you.
politicized.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mike.
Who said that? Mike said that?
I think like the
Mike said that,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I like
It's
that.
not, I'm tweeting that right now.
the meme that I sent to the group, right?
It's not political. It's
Where
politicized.
it was the thing that resonated with me the
That's
most.
your boy.
Yeah.
It was, you hear something, right? Black Lives Matter, right? And the natural reaction for a lot of people was, no, all lives matter, right? But when you actually take a step back, right, you see what all these NBA players are doing, right? Putting
NWNBA.
Absolutely. Putting causes on their back, right? Doing video tributes, explaining why they have what they have on their back, right? I think that is, you see that, right? That's great action. And I might be selfish for not thinking that's politics,
No, I don't think
but
you're right.
I truly don't. Do I care? Not do I care. Donald Trump and Joe Biden, that just not guys that like I would feel comfortable leading the country. I didn't vote in the last election because what's her name, Clinton and Trump. I don't think that they are the most important
You
job
didn't vote.
candidate. I voted. I didn't vote for president. I left that blank.
Smart man.
You're gonna have to vote this year.
Absolutely.
We saw it. We saw it
Yeah.
for 3.5 years. We saw
Mike, that was a very intelligent quote.
What one?
Oh, you had a lot, huh?
it. I didn't think it was political.
It's politicized.
It's just politicized.
I like that. That was very
Yeah,
intelligent
so-
for a white man.
But don't you don't you think everything
Articulate so well.
don't you think everything's politicized, right?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom,
And that's
so
the reason why.
Movements get
But that's-
politicized, and I
my-
think that's why people don't invest in
my
them.
mom works for the post office, right? She has worked her ass off 6 days a week for the last how long?
Damn, Alex, you felt that?
No, but honestly,
I know what's going on with the post office right now.
absolutely, and I think they're so overwhelmed, right? For someone who does work there, they are jam packed, nonstop. Amazon sends everything through them, right? They are backloaded. It's the reason why Prime doesn't get here in 2 days anymore,
Right.
right? Is because everyone's buying stuff online. My mom's working her ass off, right? And people come in just giving attitude, right? That's
Where's my package?
because it's politicized.
Right.
Bro,
Right?
you're a fucking blue collar kid, huh?
Yeah,
Now that I'm really listening to it, I'm like, Dad was in supermarket
Yeah,
business.
my
working
parents,
class,
for
though.
years.
Work-
my parents
working
work every
class.
Saturday. Every Saturday that I've grown up, my grandparents took me to every sporting event. They work their ass off to make sure that I can.
And they made you a
do
Celtics
what I know.
fan.
Yeah.
Well, now I have another question. Do you even think that? Do you have white privilege? Like,
I think that's a thing, right? And I think if I answered that question as no, I would not be. That would be
Right.
showing that.
it's just based
Right.
off the physical
Right.
appearance
I have
of you versus
I have
It's white.
no
the
idea,
actual
right. I have
upbringing.
no idea
That's a great
when
point.
when you guys go home, right? What you're going home to, right?
Yeah.
I think I told you I lived in a city for a year, right? I grew up in the suburbs. You guys were talking about what you might miss from not living in the city anymore, right? The noises and that. I go to bed every night, and it's been a quiet night, right? That's something that I clearly take for granted, right? That just naturally, I think that's so natural. So there's so many different types of things, and just opening yourself up to that. I acknowledge, right, that there is white prejudice,
a disparity between
Yeah,
the white
absolutely.
experience
How
and
could
the
you not, right?
colored person experience.
honestly, how
Person
could I
color.
sit here? How can anyone sit here and not? I think a lot of people would think that way as well. But that's also coming from someone who doesn't get that attack, right? And so I think one point too is just there's so many people. There's certain things, whether it's disabilities, whether it's your skin color, with anything, right?
Female.
That there's inequalities, and we can't have that.
And we can't be against if there is a movement
Right.
to bring light to that inequality
Absolutely.
for whatever it may be.
Absolutely. And I think, right, and everything, it's been a crazy last few months, right? In every sense of the word in this country. And I think that people who were protesting, right? Peaceful protest, whatever that falls into that category. But when I think of that, I think of someone who has a cause, right? They're demonstrating it and they're pushing back, right? I think when things get escalated and things are violent and the looting and stuff, no one thinks that's part of any type of movement, but that's something that's getting politicized.
It's a cause and effect.
Yeah.
They never publicize the cause.
Yeah.
It's the effect.
Right. And honestly, who do you go to find out what's really going on? Do you
Right.
turn
Good
on the
question.
news?
Good question.
Right.
That's why, honestly, I
watch
trust
them all.
people who I listen to on their podcasts, and I trust people who I follow on Twitter. And for me, that works.
I would recommend C-SPAN.
I honestly don't even know what that is.
Watch the congressional committee hearings.
Okay.
And
Well, because you get the full thing.
because you watch
Fox
Bill
News, you get a-
Barr speak.
Yeah.
Fox News, you're gonna get the
It's
highlight.
horrible to listen to.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really congressional hearings are tough to listen to if you're not into that shit. But for me, I know
Cook a ribeye while you're watching.
yeah, all of them
So that
are
way you're
lying.
entertained.
MSNBC, Fox,
Reem.
CNN,
Yeah.
everybody's pushing their own bias. For me, I just like to hear it out of the fucking horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's 90.
90. Pence, who survived.
So Mike, so we have this thing, and I'm gonna assume Reem didn't tell you about it.
Right.
So we have this thing
We
called
don't tell
honorable
guests
mention.
anymore.
Yeah. No, I've been listening.
Oh, and you listen. So
Oh,
so
yeah.
so we have
I'm
we have
prepared.
honorable mention.
Oh, he's prepared. He said.
All right, perfect.
Ah.
So I guess we'll start with you then. We never really start with the guests, so we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So I think I mentioned since I've been in Cumberland the last about 18 months before the pandemic was coaching basketball every single week at the Boys and Girls Club. Gentleman coach Pedro, Pedro Rios. It's possible
Pedro.
basketball.
That's my
I've been-
guy.
I've been his kind of right hand man with the little tykes for like
Shout out to Pedro.
for 18
It's
months.
possible basketball.
That
Yeah.
what he's done. I started.
I didn't know he was.
just
I
at
didn't
the
know he
right
was
time.
at the Cumberland Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, Cumberland and Cranston, and we started kind of together. They were looking for
I
someone.
call
I
Pedro.
walked in.
He's got a Tony Parker style game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's solid. He's good, and I mean you can't be talking to him this week though.
No,
He's a Dame guy.
what is he?
Yeah, he's a big Portland fan. So,
Okay.
but just an awesome guy who.
Thanks for bringing that up, Mike.
Yeah. That's all I do is sports.
Yeah.
He's my honorable mention.
So he spent all his time in. It's just a great one.
Yeah.
It really is the vote campaign.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to this guy.
But Pedro, he's just an awesome guy. Grew this
Okay, Reem.
basketball training company, and
You did.
What's the name of it?
it's
Possible
possible
Basketball.
basketball.
It's possible. Basketball.
Yep.
Yep. I follow him on Instagram now
Yeah.
too. You gotta get you on there. Yeah. So on to my
Yeah,
honorable
yeah.
mention.
On to yours.
Dame
Yeah.
Dollar. That boy Damian Lillard. I had an argument 2 years ago with my man Adam, and I was like, yo, this guy is a superstar in
he's
the
something.
league. And he's like, nah, who would you put him up? And I was like, Steph. I put him up there with Steph. I put him above Kyrie Irving. And he thought I was crazy about it.
I think Bub still thinks you're crazy.
And I was like, look, it's just because he plays in fucking Portland. Nobody cares about Portland basketball. And over the last 3 years,
Bub's not
he
even
has
listening.
just gone stupid. And yesterday, look, I still think the Lakers get out of the first round. I get that. But I think that
Lakers
the
in
whole
6.
league is 100,000% on notice now. And just watching him last
Nah, I
night,
think we've been on notice.
They've been on notice.
We've been on
CJ
notice.
McCollum
He
in the
carried them to
third.
the Western Conference Finals. Last
Dame
year.
is cold.
He
That
is
boy is cold.
and he has it. He has.
I will say this, right? To
Superstar.
add to that, because I'm a basketball fan first, then I'm a Laker fan. But
He's in your top 5 this year?
if they somehow get past the Lakers, I want Portland to win it. I think it will be an incredible story for the league, just because of what Dame has done, and then the shit he was talking to Pat Bev.
And Paul George.
And Paul
about
George.
trading their teams. Yep.
Like Paul George, you've been
Yeah.
bouncing around team to team, running from the grind, chump.
Yep.
Oh man.
When he hit that three and just
Yeah.
goes the wave, that was the coolest.
Anybody that could take
That
a
was unbelievable.
40-footer sidestep with confidence.
Paul George was right. It was a bad shot decision for everyone
It
else
was.
in the league
It was.
except for him.
Him and Steph are the only
Steph.
people that can take that shot. And the coach be like,
But even he's not wrong. He's one of the best wing defenders. And
yeah,
you got
no,
him
that's a
40 feet
bad
up.
shot.
Right.
If you're not
Yeah.
Dame Dollar.
If you miss that shot in like
Oh, he gets crucified.
AAU,
No,
you
if
get
Dame
benched.
missed that shot, he gets crucified.
So yeah, that's my honorable mention. It's just I don't know how many Portland fans are even fucking out there since Clyde Drexler and shit, but I'm really impressed with what the fuck he's
They're all
doing in
protesting out in the
basketball.
streets.
Alex, what's your
He's in like the secret agents from DHS that are in Portland beating up the civilians,
You want me to go?
the aliens.
I'm
shout out the aliens?
nah, fuck them motherfuckers. I'm gonna do Patrice O'Neal's
Funny.
Elephant in the Room.
Funny.
That
Funny.
fucking stand up is one of the
Funny.
best stand ups ever. You can find it on YouTube
Ever?
right now.
Yes.
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 Ever.
Yes.
One of
God
the
rest his
funniest.
soul,
How
right?
many? Like 10?
Okay.
God rest his soul.
It's
Yes,
top
the rest
10?
So he died
Yep.
after, right? Maybe a few months after.
Yo,
One of the best stand ups.
Top 10, at least
Yes.
in my book. My book, top 10 stand-ups I've seen.
it's
And it may be 10.
funny.
It may be 10, but it's still top 10.
I mean, how many top 10s you got right now?
I just threw the number
I
out.
about to say
Raw.
bigger, Raw, Delirious, Bigger, Blacker, You So Crazy. One of Kevin Hart's.
I don't think I have any of Kevin House up there. I got some of Dave Chappelle's up there.
Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock.
I got Chris
Killing
Rock.
Him Softly.
Killing Him Softly.
Absolutely.
100%.
Killing Him Softly. Probably the last one he did with the green jumpsuit joint, where he was talking about the LBGTQ, and they're all in the same car.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
That one
going
was
to.
good. That one was good.
Sunset, Live from Sunset Boulevard, Richard Pryor.
Raw. Did we say Raw?
Yeah, we said Raw.
You can put either Delirious or Raw.
You got a
Richard
what's her name
Pryor.
in there too?
I could put
This is Cat
Carlin
Williams.
in there.
It's Cat
I could
Williams.
put Carlin in
Colin.
Cat Williams has to have one in there.
there. I don't know if I would have a Cat, but Cat's up there. Cat is not. If Cat's not 10, Cat's 11. Like
George Carlin.
I probably maybe I have to go
George
back.
Carlin.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
George Carlin.
Speaking of, does Bernie Mac have a stand up on his own?
The Kings of Comedy.
No,
Straight
on his
comedy.
own though.
Yeah, no,
Does he have? I don't think he ever did one on his own.
Yo,
No.
honestly, I'm so mad that the world turned on Louis C.K.
I'm down with Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. was fucking funny.
I haven't canceled him
He
I
said
haven't
this.
because he admitted to it, and he was like, yeah, I jerked off.
He just has his part.
Y'all never said I couldn't do it. Y'all just allowed me to.
In this one stand up where he's just like, I cut this guy off on the road, and when he drove past me, he was like, suck a bag of dicks. And he said, I just immediately, before I got angry, I started to think about, what does a bag of dicks look like? Does it look like baguettes all pointed out of the top of a bag? Does it look like
Nah, he was
chicken
good.
parts all in a plastic bag?
He was good. Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr.
Oh, Bill Burr.
has.
Bill Burr.
I saw Bill
has
Burr
one.
at the Wilbur in Boston.
He's crazy, man. Bill Burr has one. Yo, that was a good one. My honorable mention, since you mentioned him, I had another one, but now that you mentioned him, this is a great book. Mysterious Stranger by David Blaine. That was a book that I read in my late 20s, maybe early 30s.
He was really big into magic.
Yeah.
I was really big into magic. Really big into magic. But his story, David Blaine's story, is pretty incredible. So
That's a survival
and
story.
it's not. It's just a normal man story, but what he was able to do with that normal man story, I think is unique. Is the incredible part, right? Like he wasn't like this enormously great athlete or enormously great. He was an enormously great magician, but he wasn't even enormously great at the beginning, right? He was just this kid that was starting out and he was just a normal kid, and then shit happened at home, and then you get to read about the shit that happened at home, and then his mom passed, and it's just a phenomenal story.
I'm just gonna let you know right now. That'll probably be the next time I beat Megatron's ass. To come in here like, I want to be a magician. What? I read the book Uncle Kava recommended.
I heard
You're hurting yourself, kid.
Oh shit! Shout out to Smooth.
I don't have a specific honorable mention, but I do want to give I don't like the term because I get tired of it, but rest in peace to 4 young men that have lost their lives since the end of July. And to those, my heart goes out to those families. And then the other shout out is to my colleagues and my coworkers at the Nonviolence Institute, and for what we've been trying to do to support the families of the lost loved ones. So
it's tough, bro. Keep up that good work.
But also shout out to 148. Grown Pains Podcast wants to support black businesses, so shout out to 148. Got some wings here, some delicious wings.
That's one of the coolest things right about the bubble too, is all of the, well, not all of, but a good percentage of the restaurants they get to choose from, right, are black-owned restaurants.
I didn't know that.
So that's just, I mean,
subtle.
Supporting the economy. Yeah.
I know they get a lot of their divas at times, right? But the NBA, what they're doing right now.
I mean, Lou Williams
he
almost risked the rest of his basketball seasons to go to Atlanta.
What they're doing in the middle of a pandemic, right? In the middle of kind of an upheaval,
unprecedented times.
It's really unbelievable, like the leadership that, like I said, I crap on LeBron, right? But he, I mean, what he's
you got to keep saying it though.
But it's all. But
you vote for LeBron.
I'll walk out of here if we're playing the Lakers in the finals. I'll be screaming at him, right? But I can step back and say, the guy, I'm feared of the guy, right? Because he's gonna score 30 on us, and who knows what else. But he's a good dude who he's never been in trouble, and he's empowering change. He's making change happen, right? And I think you can't do anything.
Can we also acknowledge the change we made happen here?
I hope so.
First
Hey,
Caucasian guest. One time for Mike Pence.
Look at us growing.
My God.
Look at us growing on the Growing Pains podcast. Expanding. Yeah,
man. Hey, shout out to Stay Silent as well for posting about making a post about where you can register for mail-in voting. Yeah. So shout out.
And I just got my new hat in from Stay Silent.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
PVD hat.
Shout out to them.
I was gonna tell them to put King on top, but that was a little too much.
Crown over the P.
Yeah.
100%.
What should I know, moving into Rhode Island? What should I know about Providence and Rhode Island in general?
I can tell you some places.
Whoa, yeah, bugging.
Whoa, not out of Providence.
Yeah, bugging.
Jesus.
This wild.
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
How about fun places to take kids?
Not in Providence.
No, but anyway.
What the?
Where? You can go to Roger Williams Park.
Yeah.
Roger Williams Park is one thing. I mean, even this park right around the street that they just rebuilt right here is, bro, it's not gonna matter. If you're outside with the kid, all you need is green grass.
Yeah, true.
And you'll make that work. I'd highly recommend Cobb's Pool.
It's not in Providence, but yeah.
That's not in Providence.
Not in Providence,
Just out here.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Food wise though,
Yeah, there's a lot of good food spots.
there's wild food. There's so many.
Bajas.
good
I've been
foods
everywhere there. Quite a
Yeah,
bit.
Hope Street's pretty good.
there.
Atwell's.
Atwell's.
You're Italian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've hit
And-
about every spot.
Broad Street.
And there what's the name? Broad Street has the new El Ninja.
Oh yeah,
El Ninja.
yeah.
I gotta try that. Has anybody tried
Where
that?
is it?
Dominican,
I don't
it's
know where
right
it's
there.
at.
It's right by the Gran Parada. Like if you come out on Thurber's, I think you make a left, and it's right there on your right hand side. But this dude is Chinese,
building did he
raised
take
in
over?
Japan.
Did he take over the building right there by the Bones
in
Theater?
Dominican Republic. So the chef is Chinese,
He started at South Beach
raised in
Lounge.
Japan, and then he speaks 100% Dominican, but he's making sushi with Dominican cuisine. Like he's confused. He's
Sushi's
a fusion.
too. Like yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out. So yeah, that one. There's that section down. Where's Hipsterville now? Where-
Broadway.
Right, Broadway, where the schools are. Central,
Yeah,
Classical Diner.
Yeah, it's Broadway. It's Westminster, Broadway.
Westminster, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Westminster, not Broadway. It's in between those streets. Like the
Crenshaw
Bayberry's there. Bucktown Chicken is there.
Oh, that's on the. So
yeah,
it's
I don't know
not.
what
It's
those in between streets.
I don't know the name of the street, but
that section
yeah.
over there is fire too
Yeah.
right now, bro.
The Planet Fitness is over there.
Wicked and is always a good time.
Yep.
Wickeden. Yep.
It's a good area.
No, you can find spots.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going out there.
You can go on the bridge. Everybody loves the bridge, the pedestrian bridge. I still haven't been on it, but
Mike, for the right price, you can just invite me.
Yeah,
over.
I feel like I should go there and take some
dish.
pictures. I feel like
Chef
that's what
Reem,
people go there
Bring
for.
a dish. I'll cook for you and the missus.
Nice biopic or something.
I do Hello
Yeah.
Fresh, and I think I'm some type of.
It's just with
Get 100 likes real quick.
Right.
It's just an apron, no pants on. I don't know how comfortable you're gonna be with that.
Hey. Chef's choice.
Chef's choice.
Good job, gentlemen.
Yeah, good job, man. Yeah, good job. We started off kind of rocky.
Nuh-uh.
Alex.
Oh,
Breaking the ice.
No. You broke something.
Breaking the ice.
You
Breaking
broke
the
something.
ice.
Or somebody broke something to you. I don't know.
But I think we had a good one. We had a great one. We keep having great.
I just think that he's quietly coming out of the closet to us,
Whoa.
and we're not listening.
All right.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
I'm not mad.
All right, yeah, let's keep that.
I woke up with my
I like
ass
that narrative.
bleeding.
I'm not mad.
I like it.
I think it was aliens. Okay.
I like where we're going. I like where we're going. He saw a big ass dick the last time in the last podcast. Yeah. I like where we're going.
It's fine. We're gonna love you anyway, Al.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yo,
We got it. We done?
let's get out of here, man. Y'all know what to do. Like, follow, share, comment.
Fact check.
Subscribe.
Yeah, fact check, subscribe.
Have beef. Like
Tell-
argue with us.
Yeah.
No, don't argue with us.
Yes.
Hey,
Tell
we
all the
want-
white people about us.
I think we want to have a uncomfortable conversation.
Yes.
So if there's anybody that's willing to have
Right.
an uncomfortable conversation,
Yeah. Male or female.
We might have to do that one via broadcast.
I want to have somebody with. Why not? Why not have somebody with an opposing view? Right. I think like what Mike said, like having people that have opposing views talk intelligently about their views will maybe will not that. What did Chris Rock say? I'm not saying that I would do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I understand. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be like, I'm not saying that I agree with you.
I
but
understand.
I understand.
So let's take baby steps with that. Maybe we invite like a New York Giants fan.
Okay, I'm with you. Hey, y'all know what to do. We out of here, man.
Peace to the God MC Lupe.
Jesus.
Oh God.